Okay, I hope I'm back and I hope you're there. So I told you the weather is really crazy right now, and all of a sudden we got this power surge. So if you are there, let me know you're there. Um, Charlene, hopefully still there. Good. Cody, Renee, are you all still there? Okay. So there's been a power surge in the area. You know, we have a storm, a rainstorm. Hey, the folks are coming back. Hey, Stella. Hi, Auntie. Folks are coming back. This weather is a little bit crazy. So we just had this blackout, if you will, and then it came back on. So we're going to try it again. I see, Charlene, I see you there. So let's folks get back on. Hopefully they'll be able to connect again. We'll try it again. You will have to share it again. Hit the share button again. And prayerfully, we'll be able to stay on for our little 20 minutes or 25 minutes or so. So once again, this is Real Talk with Love, and I'm Coach Barbara Perkins. I'm starting over from the beginning, letting you know that we are here every Monday. Tonight, we're going to talk about restoration. Hi, Tracy. I feel so bad because we had quite a few people on and we got cut off. I won't blame it on Facebook this time. I'm going to blame it on the weather because we had a power surge. We have a rainstorm here all across the South and really headed up east. So anyway, folks will come back on as they do. Hit the share button if you will. We were talking about the news of the week and how the news of the week is still as bad as it was and as emotional as it was last week. It feels like it can't get any worse, and then it does. Hi, Juanita. So I was telling the story about reading the first news story of the day and about this young man who lost both his parents due to coronavirus. And 17-year-old young man, only child, both parents passed away due to the virus. And I was talking before we got cut off moments ago. I was just sharing about how difficult it is. Hi, Marilyn. How difficult it is to read this news and then to read that people are not taking this thing seriously. They're not wearing their masks. They're still gathering for parties. And, I don't know what else to say. This is 18 weeks that we've been live on Mondays. We've been live for 18 weeks, but we've been sheltered in for 21 weeks. So at this point, it's almost nothing you could say to folks who have decided that they're not going to wear a mask. After 20 weeks of saying it, it's almost nothing else to say to them. Except, certainly they can't be around me or you, right? And if you happen to be out and there's folks with no mask on, you have to get away from them. I mean, clearly, there's nothing you can do at this point. They're determined. And these folks who are having house parties that think that because they're sheltered in their home and there's a handful of people, what you don't know is where those people have been. You don't know what they've been exposed to. None of us know where the virus is. So minimizing your risk is the only thing you can do. Minimize your risk. Do the best you can. Stay home, or when you go out, do as much as you can on one day and try not to expose yourself and expose others. But the news, as we're talking about the news a little bit. Hi, Crystal and Coralie. Thanks for coming back. I was sharing with the others. We had a power surge because we have the storm weather. We're getting some of that here, and we had several blackouts today, so that's what's happening. Anyway, so we got the financial disaster. We got coronavirus spiking again. We have a government who is spending time talking about what they're going to do to help people. We have people getting ready to lose their homes. The jobs that we thought would be here are no longer going to be the same. A lot of companies have already announced that they're not hiring people back. The hospitality industry has been crushed. So there is a lot going on. Hi, Paulette, I'm glad you came back. We had a little power surge. But there's so much going on. There's so much to wrap our minds around. There was no way for us to have been prepared for this. No way for us to be prepared. The only thing we can do is try to be safe. Protect yourself and your families. Another thing that this is the last part of the news that I'm going to talk about today, and then I'm going to hop right into our subject on restoration. But there is this, I don't usually bring politics into the live. I haven't done that since we started 18 weeks ago. But last week I was so frustrated with this national conversation about who Joe Biden is going to pick for his VP. And the fact that black women are pushing. I'm one of them. Because it is time. And to hear this old script resurge about black women being too ambitious, and specifically I think they were talking about Senator Harris, too ambitious. I don't know what that means. Because every person I've ever known who've ever run for anything, they were ambitious. So when it's time for a black woman who is qualified, we have a roster of women who are so prepared and qualified to step into this role. What we don't want to hear is nonsense. So I will say to you, my friends who are listening, when you hear someone start the nonsense, cut them off. Don't even entertain it. Don't even try to explain the fact that we are prepared, that these women are qualified, that yes, they are ambitious and they should be. And they have every right to be ambitious and confident and clear about their readiness to serve this country. We don't have to apologize for being smart and ready. And so when I heard that on the news, I was totally frustrated with that. So we're not entertaining it. And anyone who's, please don't come on my Facebook page with it, because I'm shutting it down. I shut it down right away. Don't tell me about one black woman against another, because every single one of them who made that short list, they deserve to be there. And there's a few more. So that's my news of the day. Come on in with, please, and share. Hit your share button. We're getting ready to talk about restoration. I don't know if all of you have heard, just before we closed, we were sheltered in. The end of February, I had a brand new book. It's my 7th book that came out. The title of the book is Restoration. And here's what it looks like. I don't know if it's backwards when I hold it up this way. But it's Restoration. And right behind me is the cover. It's the artwork that was created by internationally known artist Cynthia St. James, who has covered so many books, Waiting to Exhale, Acts of Faith, and so many others that she has covered, including mine. So I'm so happy to be able to share some of her work with you. But tonight, when we talk about restoration, I really had to think about this. I didn't come on to talk about my book per se, but my book Restoration, Seven Promises of God, is about my journey with stage 3 breast cancer. Hi, Chanel. So that's what the book is about. When I started writing the book 6 months into cancer treatment, I thought that I would be writing the book about my process and my healing, my being restored from cancer. And I did that 6 months in because I was convinced, I knew, I was clear that I would be restored from cancer. But as I began to write the book, I realized that it was much more than cancer that I was talking about. And so tonight, I'm not really talking about the book as much. I'm talking about what is it in your life that needs to be restored. Certainly, I just talked about all that we are going through. This COVID-19, if you could think back to December of last year, as we were getting ready for the new year, and if you're like me, we start to think about what we want the new year to be. What are our new plans? What are the new goals? What do we have set up? How we're going to set our lives up? What's going to be different in 2020? In December, I started thinking about that and writing down what a good year I had in 2019. It was a good year. One, it was a good year because I saw the end of it. That was one good thing. A lot of people didn't make it to the end of 2019. And so I was writing about that and thinking about how we tee up 2020. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Samantha. A lot of people talked about 2020 as being the year of clear vision, straight ahead. Well, 2020 came in, and before we can really get ourselves out the box good, we started hearing early February about this virus. And we started hearing about the virus. It was in another country, several other countries. And if you're like me, I was paying attention, but kind of not paying attention. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Deirdre. And then all of a sudden, the first week of March, we got hit with this thing, the news of this virus, something we've never seen before. And again, I, like so many others, thought, okay, maybe it'll be a bit of an inconvenience, and 2 or 3 weeks perhaps. Okay, I can stay home and, actually I have some projects I want to work on. There's some things I can do. I'll clean my closet. I'll do a few things, and then we'll be finished with this. We had no idea what was ahead of us. And now here we are, 21 weeks into this pandemic. And it's as if all hell broke loose. We have hundreds, thousands of lives lost. People, families have been changed forever. Entire families have been wiped out. Physically, economically, emotionally, people are spent. We keep trying to wrap our minds around it. Have you figured it out? Anybody? If you have, put something in the thread, let me know. But everywhere we look, there is despair. I'm not going to say destruction. I'm going to say despair. People are burdened with how to move forward. And yes, we all need some restoration right now. What I would tell you is that when I wrote the book about my being restored from cancer, it's only been 2 years. But when I wrote the book, what I wanted to share was how difficult the journey was. I knew that I would be restored because I knew where my faith was. And I knew that God had promised me that I had an assignment and I was still on that assignment. And I trusted that I had more time. So when I started writing the book, I was clear that I would be restored. But what I did not know was how difficult it was going to be. And so I would ask you today, because this is about you and what you may have in your life right now that needs to be restored. Are you willing to go through the process? Because that's the difficulty. Saying, yes, I want to be restored, whether it's your finances, your employment, your dreams, your goals, your hopes that you had for 2020. If I ask you, do you want to be restored? Of course, the answer is yes, right? It's easy to say yes. But what's not so easy, I will tell you from experience, is the process. Sometimes what it takes for that restoration to happen is, for me, it was a stripping down. And the stripping down was so unfamiliar because we move about our day feeling like we have some control over it. And to a certain degree we do, because we have free will. God gives us that. But the truth is, we've never really been in control of our lives. And so when you are in the process of being restored, it's difficult because sometimes the stripping away of the old way of thinking, the old way of being, the old attitude, the old self-doubt, the stripping away of that is required to be restored to your original wonderfulness, perfection that God created you to be. And that's difficult. I was reading in my journal this morning, and I just looked at all the things I had listed, right? And all of those things are not happening in 2020. Everything that I had listed in my journal for 2020, none of those things will happen. None of them. Everything is different. Nothing is as I thought it would be. How about you? Are things different for you? Do you know what direction now you're going in? Well, we have the ability to make a decision about our own restoration, because that has to happen first. And that decision, rooted in a belief that it will happen, it's called faith. Your decision about what your future is going to be, anchored in faith, is what gives you hope. You can hope. You can. Actually, for me, when I was being healed from cancer, I was sure. Hey, Marcia. Hi, Roland. I was sure. I was clear that there was a promise that God had made me and that I would be restored. And so I act like it. What I had to learn, however, was I had to learn to really get into a posture of surrender before the restoration could happen. That I had to be willing to surrender all thoughts of my being in control. That posture of surrender is what takes you over. It takes you over to the point where you can allow your faith to become active. Right? When you surrender to this idea that these things are out of your control. Every morning that you wake up is this beautiful, wonderful gift. And you know when someone gives you a gift, what you do, you appreciate that gift, right? No matter what you have or had. The one thing about this season that we're in that is really clear to everybody is I don't care who you are, what is your celebrity status, what your bank account says, what your pedigree is, what school you got your degree from. None of that matters in the midst of COVID-19. We are all what God has given us right now. He has put the entire world on pause. And I say it's a good thing because now we get to connect with Him and co-create a future for ourselves. But we're all equal. No matter how these folks are sitting in their big chairs trying to make decisions, we could see just with the naked eye, we can see how that's going. Especially in this country. We are in the United States of America, and would you believe the calamity that we're having around testing and the calamity that we're having around taking care of our citizens? This is the United States of America. We're supposed to be the example. But our crisis is bigger than anybody else's. So listen, I don't care who you are, what you have, where you've been, what you know. When we're here, we're all equal. We're all at the starting line today. And the best thing we can do at this moment in order to get this restoration process going is be in this posture of surrender. That's how you activate it. What do you surrender to? You surrender to your God. I'm not telling you how to believe. I can't do that. But I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe that there is a higher power. And I believe that higher power is in direct connection. I'm in direct connection with it. And I know especially now that if there's ever a time when I need to be connected to a higher power, it is now. So my question to you again is there anything in your life that needs to be restored? How do you do it? Is it your health? Maybe there's a health crisis. Maybe there's an economic crisis. You know, families are falling apart. Domestic violence is at an all-time high, sadly. Right? People are under the weight of not being able to feed their families, not sure if they're going to be living in the home they're living in right now because they can't, there's no jobs. We have families where both mother, father, all working people in the household, no longer working. If ever there is a time to be in connection with a higher power, something to hold on to keep you from losing your mind, it would be now. If ever there's a time to be in a posture of surrender and ask God for redirection, yes, Renee, redirection and restoration, it would be now. What about your dreams? Have you given up on your dreams? I hope not. Because what a good place to be at the starting line, where you get to now redesign the dream, restate the dream, co-create it, be in connection with your creator about what it is you're going to do next. This is a great time for that. What I'm saying is, for me, God is enough God. He is enough. And what he has allowed me to do through faith is to dream big, to hold on to the promises that he's made, to expect those things to come to fruition. For me, restoration from stage 3 breast cancer was assured. I was really clear. There was a time in our lives when we had the last housing crisis, the real estate crash, where we lost a lot. My husband and I were real estate investors. We had been for 15 years. And there was a time, I'm telling you, when the bottom fell out completely. I thought that was bad. We're back we're in a new home. Our children are well. We're safe, restored. I'm saying the God that I know doesn't pick and choose. Everything that's available for one is available for all. You just got to connect, and you got to believe that your restoration is possible. I'm telling you, no matter what you're going through right now, no matter how difficult it is for you right now, no matter how emotional it's been, you can make it. You can make it to the other side of this. You can actually thrive. Restoration is available, whether it's your dreams, whether it's your finances, whether it's your job, your relationship with your family. Restoration is possible. Your health, it is possible. And my prayer and my wish for you is that you would believe that, and that you would stand in that as your truth. I pray that God covers you, keep you safe, that your family is well, and that you make it to the other side of COVID-19, and that you too can tell your restoration story. God bless you and have a good night. Thank you for joining me. Please share. Maybe even start a watch party. Hi, Pearl. Hi, Sharon. Start a watch party. Share this message with someone. They may need to hear it. I thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next Monday right here. Real Talk with Love. I'm Coach Barbara. And listen, I'm going to put something in the thread. I'm going to leave it up so you have time to write it down. I started a YouTube channel, and I would love it if you would subscribe to that YouTube channel. Of course, my website information is in the thread as well. But I'm also asking if you would go to Barbara A. Perkins on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. That would be a blessing to me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, Renee. Thank you all for joining. I'm going to let Brandis play us out a little bit. Thank you, Marilyn. I'm going to let Brandis play us out a little bit with some more Sisters at the Well. Thank you, everybody. Have a really good week. Thank you, Miss Charlene. You all should know each other. Y'all so yummy. Hey, Tracy. Both Tracys, Tracy and Tracy, Marilyn. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all coming on. Please share it with your friends, okay? Is my Simone on? I think I saw her on earlier. Thanks, Coralie. My folks in the Bahamas, Bermuda, thank you. Love you all. Have a good week. Talk to you soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.